So now you know what to cut from a precon. But what do you add? What's up, guys? Back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. So let's jump right into it. What cards should you add to a precon? How should you go about upgrading it? This is something that daunts a lot of players because the idea of upgrading a precon sounds very exciting. Sounds very fun. It seems like it would be pretty simple, and then you look at the library of cards available to you and you realize it's not so simple. And you don't really know where to start because you got 100 card deck sitting in front of you. Now that you know what to cut from the precon, what are you going to add to it? And there are 3 categories I want to cover today on things that you should probably be adding to each and every precon that you upgrade. This is where a lot of players start. They start with precons and just upgrading them and working with them, and this is where they begin. This is where the journey begins for them. And so learning how to upgrade and what to look for when you upgrade is key. It's key on improving your abilities as a player. It's key on improving your abilities as a deck builder, and it's key on improving your likelihood of winning a game when you play Commander. So, first category, what are you going to add? Card draw. Now, I will say that as of late, precons have been pretty good about this. Half the time, the commander does the thing and lets you draw a card. So, that's good. But you need more card draw, because I bet you one thing you've probably noticed when you're playing your precon is that you'll have a good turn where you get to pop off a little bit, play some flashy stuff, and then someone plays a board wipe. And you're left with 1, maybe 2 cards in hand, and you're like, man, I don't have anything to play. And the game goes downhill fast when you run out of steam. It's just the way Commander works. You gotta have gas to hit the pedal. And so when you're upgrading a precon, the first thing you need to analyze and look at in your deck is, okay, how much card draw do I actually have? If it's in the command zone and you have card draw built into the commander or what the deck is doing, that's fantastic. But you still need supplemental card draw. I look at a card like Knight's Whisper for black. That is a fantastic 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 black, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Simple, straight to the point. In green, you play something like Harmonize. But in green, you have other ways. Another thing you got to look at is you got to play to your color strength. And what does green do? They play creatures. That's what green does. Green plays creatures. So something like Beast Whisperer is going to go really good in your green decks because it says whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. And that card's not that expensive. I think the last time I looked, it was like $3 or $4. I could be wrong on that, but that's the last time I looked at it. It's a great card. Great for card draw. Very efficient. But you want to make sure that you're playing enough card draw so that when you do get to play and get to maybe double and triple spell in a turn, which is not unheard of. I mean, it can happen. But then eventually you're going to fall behind. And even if, let's say no one plays a board wipe, you could still run out of steam. And if everyone else has steam and you're out, you're in a losing position. It doesn't matter if you have more advantage on board. Now, if you have a substantial amount more advantage on board, you might be okay. But if you have just a little bit more advantage over everybody else, but everybody else has still got cards to play and you're running on your top decking, you're like, okay, let's see, I hope I draw a creature so I can cast something. You don't want to be there. You want to be drawing a draw spell so you can draw a few cards and play more cards, play more creatures, play more whatever it is your deck is trying to do. And if you're playing a precon, creatures are just like, it's for the most part, creatures are abundant in the precon environment. And like I said, play into your color strengths. What is the number 1 color for drawing cards? It's blue. If you're playing in blue, there is no excuse to not have good card draw because blue has an ample amount of card draw. Card draw, card selection, card advantage pieces, like it's just abundant. That is what blue does. So if your deck runs blue, you're in a good position. But if your deck doesn't run blue, there's still good options out there. It just depends on what color you're playing and what's in the deck. Okay? So what's the second category? What should you be adding to your precons as you upgrade them? Next is efficient removal. Okay, so I will also say that I've noticed as of late, most precons come with a decent removal package. They haven't been absolutely terrible, but what they do lack is efficiency. Like, maybe they play enough removal spells or they have added enough removal spells to the precon, but they haven't added efficient removal. Let me give you an example. If you're playing white, You should have nothing but efficient removal in that deck. Source of Plowshares is 1 white mana. Very efficient. Exile target creature. Alright, Path to Exile, same thing. 1 white mana. Exile target creature. And there's other ones that have come out that are like 1 and 2 mana that they do different things, but they're very efficient creature removal. There's also other types of removal, other permanents like artifacts and enchantments and things like that. White has that. But you're looking for efficient removal. You want to play it for the cheapest. Now, if you're looking for like free removal spells and things like that, you're looking at higher power and you're looking at a lot more money. But a card like Swords of Plowshares is dirt cheap. And sometimes it's included in a precon and sometimes it's not. I would look at your removal. Say, okay, I have these 11 pieces in the deck that deal with removal, but they all cost 3 and 4 mana. Not good. Not good. If there's no swords in there, add a Swords to Plowshares. If there's no path in there, add a Path to Exile. If you have the ability to reduce the CMC of your deck and keep the same objectives or the same abilities that the cards you took out do, you're in a very good position. Anytime you can lower the CMC of your deck, it's just going to run smoother. You're going to have more things to play. You're going to double and triple spell more often. You're going to have the ability to play more cards because your cards don't cost so much. Big mistake that players make is trying to add every cool card they can find that costs 7, 8, and 9 mana. We talked about that in another video. You don't want to do that. You want to be lowering the CMC of your cards while also keeping up with what you're trying to do. And one thing you want to be doing, we talked about one thing on this channel, it's interaction. You want to be interacting. You want to be playing removal, playing counter spells, playing whatever it is that you feel like is your version of removal or interaction. Play it, okay? So yeah, that's the second thing I would upgrade. And then the last category, ramp. Now again, this is very similar to the removal conversation, is that in most precons nowadays, there's ramp. I mean, you're going to find ramp. Every precon just about has a Soul Ring in it, and an Arcane Signet, and probably a Felwar Stone or a Mind Stone or something like that, depending on the colors. But you want to add ramp to play to your color strength. So in most colors, that's going to be artifacts. You're going to be looking at 2 mana artifacts, maybe 3 mana, depending on the ability. A 3 mana ramp spell is going to have to provide some super good efficiency or some good utility if you're going to use that. But we're not going to talk about Chromatic Lantern. I don't want Josh Lee Kwai coming on this channel and beating me because I brought up Chromatic Lantern. But you definitely want to be playing the most efficient ramp that you can. There are so many options for 2 mana ramp that you're hard-pressed to find a reason to play 3 mana ramp unless you're in green. Green is the only color that's an exception because, I mean, there's a lot of 2 mana ramp in green, land ramp, but in most situations for green, there's really good, like Harrow. Harrow is a great card because it's 3 mana, right? 3 mana, sack a land, but then you bring in 2 and they come in untapped. So you're looking at landfall strategies and things like that. A lot of good opportunities there. But still, you just want to be adding ramp to the deck and making sure that you have low-costed ramp and ramp that doesn't... Like, if you have a ramp spell that costs 6 or 7, that's not ramp. I mean, it may give you more lands, but but ramp is more important in the first 3 turns of the game more than anything. More than anything, it is more important than the first 3 turns of the game. The first 3 turns of the game are basically going to dictate how the rest of the game is going to go. There is some caveats to that, but for the most part, that's what you're looking at. You are looking at, what the game is going to be like if you look at the first 3 turns. That's when ramp is important. So looking at these 3 categories, you have ramp, you have removal, and you have card draw. These are the 3 pillars for your Commander Precon. So if you're playing a precon, I can't talk. If you're playing a precon and you are trying to upgrade it, these are the 3 categories I would look at first. Now, obviously, the more fun thing to look at is like, what can I do to add to my strategy? What can I do to build up more synergy? And those are great things to add. Not saying you shouldn't do that, but these are the 3 things that are going to help your deck run better. It's just going to feel smoother. It's going to feel better when you sit down in a pod to play. You're going to be like, oh, wow, I had things to do every turn. And I actually did something that made an impact on the board. I actually did something. I actually stopped that player from beating me when they were about to combo off, or they were about to do this or about to do that. I was able to stop them. Or I was able to build up a presence because I had good ramp, good efficient ramp. I didn't run out of steam because I had good card draw. These are all things that are going to help you have better games with your precons and more than likely more wins. So that's the video, guys. If you have any input, any feedback, definitely drop it in a comment down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more content like this. I will have more videos on this topic in the future. Thanks for watching.